Fitness has changed my life for the better, and it can do the same thing for you. I always grew up as the lanky, kind of awkward, nerdy kid. But then over time, with the gym and other self-improvement tactics, I was able to improve this confidence and actually build a respectable physique. You can see my starting point here. There's poor genetics, bad habits, a very skinny, fat, unattractive physique. And then to what I've had now, after 2 years plus of training and dieting, I've been able to transform to this. And today in this video, I will show you how you can have a similar transformation minus the problems that I faced. Nowadays, thanks to fitness influencers and toxic people trying to sell you courses and stuff, fitness has been overcomplicated. If you want to build muscle and have an aesthetic physique, there are only 3 things you need. First is to train hard enough. You don't understand how many people I see when I walk in the gym and they're just like this 24/7 staring into their phone between sets, or they're like 5 reps away from failure and they just give up. And you can tell they're not pushing themselves. They're not trying hard enough. They're low testosterone beta males who don't want to actually improve. And there's a saying I really like which goes, if you're not training to failure, you're training to be a failure. And this couldn't be further from the truth. So if you want to know if you're pushing yourself hard enough, just next time, this is an actionable step you can take. When you're doing your exercises, I want you to go until you literally can't do anymore. That's when you know you'll actually reach failure. So then in future, you can actually train close to failure, because you don't have to train to exact failure every set, but you know what I mean, close enough, 1 or 2 reps away. And also, I would like you to implement drop sets, perhaps if you can't reach it. Say, for example, you're pushing really hard and it's a heavy weight. You can only push out 4 reps on a bench or something. Then after that, you could drop the weight by 10 kilo, 5 kilo, and just do as many reps as you can. This is something that I love to do for the end, my 3rd set on every exercise. And I'd recommend you do the same thing. For a long time, I had a lifting plateau because I didn't train hard to failure with intensity. And once I started training to failure at the end of every set, this skyrocketed. Also on training, I recommend only 3 sets. If you see those things like 4 sets of 12, if you're able to do 12 reps on your first set, and then for 3 more sets, you also do the exact same 12 reps, and those sets are not the same, and those first few sets are not going to be hard enough. What I do is 3 sets where I'll go for, it depends on my heavy compound movements, I like to go below 6 reps, but everything else I go between 6 to 12, and then for my last one, I just push out as many as I can, and then I'll usually do a drop set as well, depending on the exercise. The uses of drop sets and supersets, which if you don't know, if anyone's not sure, I'll define them now quickly. A drop set is when you do an exercise and you lower the weight with doing the same exercise, so you can get more reps in, which is very effective for an exercise. I like to use it for exercises that you can put a lot of volume on muscles that are harder to grow. For example, your upper chest and your side delts, so lateral raises and incline bench for me. And then there's a superset, which is doing your original exercise and then afterwards immediately jumping into a different one, which is good if you're pressed for time. Say you need to get a quick workout in before you go work, or you got to go home for something, or you're going on a date, whatever. You could just bang out a few curls and then hop on another bench, do some bench press, whatever it may be. But it's a perfect way to get high intensity and high volume in quick. Now, this is all well and good and sounds great, but you will never, ever be able to train hard if you don't follow step number 2, which is rest and recovery. This probably arguably should be number 1. I don't know why I've put it second, but it is the most important thing. You could have step number 1 and the 3rd one, which I'll talk about later, dialed in perfectly. But if you're not sleeping enough, then it's pointless. I couldn't tell you how many people I see and their physiques just stay the same. They don't have much growth. They're in the gym a lot, 5-6 times a week even. And they're pushing themselves relatively hard as they can. But you can't push yourself hard enough with no sleep. Sleep allows your muscles and your body to recover and gives you energy for the next day and everything you're going to do in the next day. It fuels your future workouts. And the fact is, the majority of our population today is very, very sleep deprived. And this is a serious problem. So if you're going to fix this, I've got a few steps for you. Firstly, implement intermittent fasting. If you don't know what this is, it's where you go through multiple big periods of the day without eating. This will also help your productivity as well. But namely, before nighttime, a good few hours before you go to sleep, you want to have your last meal. So this makes your body more tired and you're more ready for bed. Also, limit your screen time, especially before bedtime. Studies show that the blue lights, they keep you awake. They stop your sleep. Something else you can do is to set a time that you're going to sleep each night and a time you're going to wake up. This gets you a more consistent pattern, and it's also shown that while the time of sleep is very important, consistency is also key. And once you build the schedule, it'll be easier to fall asleep at these earlier times and then wake up at the same time, so you can guarantee yourself those 8 to 10 hours. I personally use the Sleep Cycle app, which is something I've seen from a Hamza video. He also has a video on sleep, which I'd recommend. And there's lots of, I'm not sure if you've heard of Andrew Huberman. He's a famous neurobiologist. He's got countless podcasts talking about it and the benefits it has on stuff like testosterone, mental health, reducing stress. So I'd highly recommend you look into that. I'll leave a link in the description to some of those videos, but sleep is key and you need your 8 to 10 hours. Believe me, I was highly sleep deprived, as most people are, and I'm only recovering it now. And the progress I've made and the energy and how I feel on a day-to-day basis is astronomical. It's night and day. It cannot be compared to my past self. And now the final chapter, no, that's not the right word. The final pillar of fitness. Surprise, surprise, it's diet and nutrition. People really do underestimate its importance. And a real famous kind of phrase that goes around in the fitness industry is, if it fits your macros. And I cannot stress this enough, hate this statement. Well, yeah, it's true. If you want to just build muscle and sacrifice your health, then sure, eat the McDonald's, bro. I mean, what? It's got some protein. It only fits your macros. It's your calories. You hit your calorie goal, hey, MyFitnessPal. But it's at the risk of your own health. And stuff that is very unhealthy for you, loaded with carbs and fats, not good fats. Good fats is actually good for you, increase your testosterone, not these fake McDonald's rapeseed oil fats. Not only does it ruin your health, it also make your face look fuller and fatter. My message is to lean bulk if you need to bulk. If you need to cut, then cut. Your bulk should be 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance. If you're not sure how to find your maintenance, look up a Calorie Calculator. I'll link one in the description for you guys that don't know. And again, it should be only 200 to 300 calories over or above your maintenance. You really, and I cannot stress this enough, please do not dirty bulk. It's unattractive. Girls don't like that fatty look. And yeah, it might be easier to gain weight. The cut's going to take forever and it's going to fuck up your health. So please just don't do it. Lean bulking's harder, but trust me, once you've packed on that lean muscle mass on an aesthetic physique at a good body fat percentage, around 10 to 12, 13, 14%, your results are going to go through the roof. That's currently my goal now. I'm trying to bulk up. You see, I got something there. It's, I'm working on it. I lost a bit of weight on the holiday. I got sick. I'm trying to lean bulk my way up, which is going to take time. It might be next year, maybe even more. I've already been bulking for the last year and a half, and I've gained a lot of mass slowly, but it's been lean muscle mass, and I haven't had to cut once, and I've still maintained my abs. But as long as you're eating healthy with a decent amount of protein, and you don't need as much protein as these fitness influencers say, 1.5 to 1.7 grams per kilogram, or 1.2, sorry, to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight will be fine. When you're cutting, I would recommend more. However, when you're bulking, you won't need as much because you'll be having much more calories. Sorry, my friend just called me. I had to cut that out. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. They're the 3 things you need. I know it sounds so basic. You're thinking, I could have thought that myself. Guess what? Because you can. Fitness has been overcomplicated by these bodybuilders, and there's a reason they're doing it. It's because 1, they're trying to cover up their steroid use, or 2, they're trying to sell you a course. So don't fall for it. I'm here to make fitness great again, and it's simple. Just follow these 3 steps. If you train hard, you sleep well, and your dieting is good, you wait 3 months, and if you haven't made progress, you can personally come back to me, and I'll give you €100. It works. It worked for me. For the longest time, I'd always make excuses. Oh, it's genetics. It's not genetics. It's either A, you're not working hard enough, B, you're sleeping like shit, like a Jeffrey, or C, your diet's trash. If all 3 of these things are dialed in, you can't complain, and you won't complain, because you'll be getting good results. That's all for now, though. I'm glad. That's all for now, though. And if you would like future videos, I will be posting some soon relating to fitness and self-improvement. And I'd like to delve in deeper on specific exercises and my workout routine, which I've used over the past year, which will help you build a lean, aesthetic physique. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Keep working hard.